Well, hello everyone. Welcome. Today is September 7th in the year 2025, and it is the total lunar eclipse, mostly visible in Europe this time around. Doesn't matter where it's visible, it is affecting the solar system, it is affecting all of us. And we have eclipses, four times a year? Two lunar eclipses and two solar eclipses. So they're not rare. This one, I read somewhere that the totality of it was going to be about almost 50 minutes between the total, and the end of the eclipse. And so it's really a beautiful, beautiful time. This one is happening 2 days before the 999. And the 999, yes, is a Gregorian calendar gateway, but it is also a cosmic gateway because we utilize the man-made to bring awareness through. And this gateway is all about entering a year of completion. Actually, it's a 13-month cycle because the next triple date will be on the 10-10-10 in 2026. And so we're entering a 13-month completion cycle. And the fact that we're starting it with this total lunar eclipse is something that I find particularly beautiful and a great opportunity. When we do a total eclipse, it breaks the energetic field between the moon and the earth. And if you've been following my work at all, you know that we are deeply affected by the moon. The moon, we actually even have in texts that are known at this. We know that the moon was pulled into place. There are texts that say before the moon was in place. So we know it is in my humble awareness, it is an artificial placement, and it does affect the magnetics of the planet. And we all know, if you're following my work again, that we are changing out the magnetic structure, the magnetic of the actual planet herself. We're going from a binary into a tri-wave. We're going from a one of duality to one of unity, another way to describe it. And so the fact that we're going into this total eclipse right before the gateway is a energetic opportunity. It's a break in these artificial magnetics that so deeply affect all life upon the planet and the planet herself. And so it's a great opportunity as we go into this year of completion. And completion can take any form you want to talk about. Completions on a personal, on a collective, on a planetary, lots of different ways, and lots of ways it will show up as we complete cycles. And as we know, everything is a cycle, right? And so it's just an opportunity to step into this next cycle of completion with more clarity about how the break right now, this lunar eclipse, and again, the lunar eclipse happens every year, but this one is a magnetic break that is giving us a pause for the reset, and a reset on a personal level all the way through the solar system. And so I just invite you as we come into this 9 year, this 999 cycle, to really look at ways in which we have been giving away our sovereignty unknowingly, quite frankly. I think most of us have done it in ways that, that it just slipping our awareness, especially around technology in this day and age. There's so much talk right now about AI, and I'll reiterate, we say AI so often now. Many forget that the A stands for artificial, right? Artificial intelligence. And one of the ways that I know many of us have kind of just slipped into habit, I'm right there with you, having a beautiful conversation about, if my iPhone, which yes, I have an iPhone, if my iPhone went down, I don't think I could recite or bring up in memory my family's phone numbers. I know there's a lot of people who use GPS to get around town. It's just easy. They make sure which way the traffic's going. But if you didn't have the GPS, could you actually get to the locations that you desire? If we didn't have these tools, and I'm not saying that the tools are going away. What I'm referring to in a way to take back our sovereignty is the way that our brain processes information. We have stopped memorizing phone numbers and addresses and important information because it's at the tip of our fingers in the iPhone, which is very convenient. But it's also making it so that we're not using the brain synapses and the pathways and the ways that we have used our brain. And this is just a very small example, but it's one that I think we can all relate to. I could not relate my BFF's phone number from the top of my head right now if my life depended on it. And that's just happened in the last 10 years, right? That's just happened in the very recent history. And now whole new generations are not even being taught to memorize key information. It's just, store it, right? Store it out there instead of having the sovereignty. And I know this is a really strange way to think about it, but it's something I wanted to introduce into the thought process right now. How many ways are we actually giving our sovereignty away because of convenience? Because it's just easier, because it's the next thing. How many of us sign contracts and, I'll agree, yeah, agree to the terms. How many of us have ever read the terms? Oh my gosh. There's a really quirky movie out that's called The Portable Door. And it's a silly and not, I wouldn't say much of a masterpiece, but it talks about, it's a really interesting premise of how we're all giving permission without even realizing we're giving permission to take away our sovereignty as humans. And I know that just remembering your phone numbers is a silly example, but it's just the tip of the iceberg in the ways in which we're no longer paying attention and simply allowing our phones, our computers to do the bidding. And I just say this as a challenge to start memorizing important telephone numbers. Pay attention to where you're driving. Could you get to your family's house? When was the last time you read a map? Right? And we'd have to laugh. I'm not even you're old as I am, you remember the Thomas Guide. And could we even read a Thomas Guide anymore? What skill sets are we losing through this technology that is just basic common sense? And I say this in a year of completion as we start into this and as we have this break, because there is a reclaiming of our sovereignty, and that is of our human intellect, our ability for common sense, our ability to put A plus B together, our ability for cognitive thinking, for thinking things through instead of just putting into a program and letting the computer decide which is the best outcome or route. You know, we talk about AI, and it has exploded in the last even 3 to 6 months. And from a larger galactic perspective, it is definitely a battle for human consciousness and keeping us sharp in our own mental capacities, which to me is our spiritual sovereignty in a way that a lot of people aren't paying attention to right now. And it's quite scary. They're giving away their power, and they're signing in a way, they're inviting it in without realizing the effect and the price that is being paid for this convenience or this fun game or program that might be out there. And so as we go into this total lunar eclipse, I invite you to consciously break any energetic hold that the inverted magnetics coming from the moon, another level of breaking free from that, from unlocking from the old magnetic structures of duality, and consciously tapping into the new tri-wave, the new binary, the new heartbeat of the planet as she regains her own organic intelligence, her own organic magnetics, that we can follow suit with as much beautiful ease and grace and awareness as possible. And then as we move in through this year of completion, allowing that completion to also hold the awareness of reclaiming our sovereignty, even in those simple things that we have so, I think, unconsciously allowed to take that level of sovereignty away. And it's been sneaky, it's been ongoing, but that is speeding up exponentially right now. And so the need for that awareness, that need for not always just allowing the most convenient and easiest path to be one we automatically click on, which is happening more and more and more. And so this is a beautiful opportunity to step out of allowing ourselves to go down that path without deeper awareness, without more consciousness, and actually call and claim our own sovereignty back. And it starts sometimes with the smallest of awarenesses and actions. And so I just invite you, as we go through this beautiful gateway into this next year of completions, which also is the pathway into new beginnings. And we are birthing so much right now for the new higher consciousness and magnetics for us to exist upon, that does not include artificial intelligence or giving our sovereignty away in such unconscious ways. Hi, I'm Raquel, and I am an ascension guide, helping you to awaken and remember your quantum self. I provide a holistic, multifaceted, and comprehensive approach to your awakening and ascension, bringing you to the cutting edge of consciousness while expanding your ability to live multidimensionally. You are a divine, sovereign being of light, and it's time to remember. Explore my website, raquelspencer.com, to learn about becoming your quantum self.